Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Amy controls Future Sight, and the top card of her library is a shockland. She also has an Ashiok Wicked Manipulator. Can she play the shockland untapped from the top of her library? If so, does she know the identity of either card that is exiled before that happens? Okay, before I just tell you the answer, it's important to first understand exactly why the problem is. See, if this question was about a toxic deluge instead of a shockland, then it would be a lot less interesting. That's because when you're casting a spell, the first step is to take it from where it was before and put it onto the stack. So you would first move the toxic deluge onto the stack, and only after that would you pay the X life. By that time, the toxic deluge is not the top card of your library anymore. This question is interesting because lands don't use the stack. To play a land, you just move it from where it started out to the battlefield. There's no in-between zone. But hold on, you don't cast lands either. There isn't a step-by-step process that you have to perform. So when exactly are you paying the 2 life to make Watery Grave enter the battlefield untapped? And that's the other thing that makes this a really interesting question. The thing that lets you pay the life is a replacement effect, and like all replacement effects, it applies immediately before the event that it replaces. In this case, the Watery Grave entering the battlefield. This means that you need to pay the 2 life immediately before that happens. Like we said before, there's no in-between zone when it comes to playing a land. Therefore, the time when you're being asked to pay that 2 life is actually while Watery Grave is still on top of your library. One consequence of this is that you don't know what the next card down will be at the time when you're making that decision. I made a whole video about that topic about a year ago. For today, the other interesting consequence happens when you have an Ashiok out. If you're really paying life while the Watery Grave is still on top of your library, like what we just said, it's not clear how that would interact with the Ashiok's ability that replaces paying life with exiling cards from the top of your library. Up until Wilds of Eldraine was released, this question didn't really have an answer. We had this rule here that said if you were choosing objects to change zones while applying an enters the battlefield replacement effect, then you can't choose the object that's entering the battlefield to also change zones. But this rule is not applicable in this case because Ashiok's ability does not let you choose which cards are getting exiled. If Ashiok said something like, search your library for that many cards and exile them, then you would not be able to exile the Watery Grave that you were playing from the top of your library as one of the 2 cards because of this rule here. But since Ashiok offers us no choice about what cards we're exiling, this does not apply. Rather, we had to come up with a whole new rule to specifically cover cases like this. As you can see, it says that we can play the Watery Grave and pay the 2 life, and if we do that, it does not count towards the cards that we exile. The Watery Grave will go to the battlefield, and the 2 cards underneath it will be exiled, which is probably what exactly everyone was already thinking that the answer should be, but now you know exactly why. But that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.